It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hello. Thank you for watching. It is showtime, everybody. I guess you figured out. Hey, the sign says the Geno Jones Show. Didn't that dude right there, that black dude, the yellow dude, it must be Geno. Yes, I am. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Chicago, or maybe in St. Louis, Houston, Memphis, New Orleans. 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles, out in Las Vegas, up in Seattle, Portland, Oregon. 1:30 p.m. out in Hawaii. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. You subscribe, and everybody that you know, everybody that you like, that you love, that you really don't know, that you can't stand, ain't crazy about, that you hate. Strangers, aliens, folks on the subway, on the L, on the highway, on the interstate, on the 405, on the Dan Ryan, up New York City, up 95 from New York all the way down, really from Boston, New York, all the way down to Miami, Florida. Roll the window down. If you're driving, keep eyes on the road. Roll the window down and say, hey, have you subscribed to the Geno Jones channel? Because the Geno Jones Show, it's amazing. It is fire. Today, ladies and gentlemen, let me start off the show. So one of my favorite songs is by a group called Boyz II Men. So to quote a famous Boyz II Men song, we've come to the end of the road. Dun, 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 dun. I can't remember the rest of the lyrics, but I know the melody. Yes to you. Yes, we've come to the end of the road. We come to the end of an era. Fans of Blackish, yes, that moment that we've dreaded. After 8 years, had a hell of a run. All good things must come to an end. And tonight is the final episode of Blackish on ABC. It's coming on at 9 o'clock. So my show, I'll be over. Show will be over, so you'll get a chance to watch it and then come back in case you missed it and binge watch the show. It is, so for this generation, for the 20 teens, so what Good Times was for black folks and for the entire culture, not just our culture, but really America and really, well, I guess Good Times wasn't as global because we didn't have the internet, but what Good Times was in the 70s, what the Cosby Show was in the 80s, Blackish is that show for this generation and the 2000 teens. So shout out to my man Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross, my man Lawrence Fishburne and Jennifer Lewis and all the kids and the creator, brother Kenya Barris. Let's just hope that Anthony Anderson doesn't turn out to be like Bill Cosby. I said it. I said it, but I meant it. I'm just saying. But anyway, what a great show. I mean, shout out to the writers on the show. It is a groundbreaking show. It is beautiful to see a beautiful black family just doing their thing. Successful, showing black love, not just with Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross's character, but their parents. Even though they supposedly got separated or divorced, Lawrence Fishburne and Jennifer Lewis, but you could tell it's that old couple that even when they get separated, they never legally get divorced. They just get separated, but they still love each other. So it's like, y'all thought that y'all was separated. Y'all just act like, I think we all had somebody in our family back in the day, some of our ancestors that were like that. They've been together like forever. And then they claim they've been separated for 15 or 20 years, but they still living together and in love with each other. So I just want to shout out everybody on the show. Man, we're going to miss that show. But hey, you'll be able to see them in reruns. So they'll still be around in some fashion. So once again, congratulations on a great run. Blackish, a groundbreaking show. Happy birthday. So Aries, today is the last day for all my Aries. Stand up because y'all already know. Come on. You know who's up next. Who got next? Who got next? You know who got next. We got next. But today, still Aries Day. Shout out to a WNBA champion. Yes, WNBA champion from the Chicago Sky, repping suburban Chicago out from Naperville, which is due west of downtown Chicago, Miss Candace Parker. She is 36 today. Happy birthday, Candace Parker, CP. Many call her the GOAT. Girl, sister got game still at 36. She still got crazy game. And Marion Suge Knight, former head of Death Row, is 57 and spending his birthday in jail. Marion Suge Knight is an example of karma. Now, you don't have to believe. I know Easter was Sunday, so you can not be a Christian. You cannot practice. But Passover also was last weekend, so you cannot practice the Jewish faith. You could not be a Muslim, practice Buddhism. You don't have to believe in any God. But karma is real. The energy you put out into the universe is the energy that will eventually, it'll come right back home. It'll come back to where it came from. But it comes in different kind of ways. It didn't come when you think. It didn't come from who that energy you projected it on or who you gave that energy to. It'll come from people and places that you don't even know and don't even know when it's going to hit you. But when it hits you, oh, Lord, it's amazing how so many people, when that karma comes back, they find the Lord. They find some type of religion. They are calling Jesus, Allah, Buddha's name, Jehovah, all the above. When the you know what, when the ish hits the fan and when the karma comes back. So let this be a cautionary tale. Today's lesson is be very careful how you treat people, because the energy you put out into the universe will come back to you. It will. So, but anyway, nonetheless, happy birthday, Suge Knight, 57 today. All right, so here we go. I was talking about voting, and I said that every day, I'm going to beat this drum like Sheila E. beating drums for Prince's band. And why it is so important to vote. Why is it so important to vote? Midterm elections. As a matter of fact, some of your primaries they've already started in some states, but now these primaries are about to really start rolling. March, June. Shout out to a state representative, Crystal Matthews. She is running to beat Tim Scott, and we got to get him up out of here. She'd be the first black woman senator from the state of South Carolina. And I'm naming and claiming she is and will be the first black woman senator in the U.S. Senate from the state of South Carolina. You got to name it and claim it, as my grandmother said. Speaking of putting things out into the universe, speak it into existence. But how do we get that to happen? How do we get Representative Crystal Matthews? How do we get representative in the United States Congress, House of Representatives, Val Demings? How do we get her in the U.S. Senate to get Marco Rubio's ass up out of there? How do we get Gary Chambers Jr. to become a senator, a U.S. senator from the state of Louisiana? How do we get Brother Mandela Barnes to beat Ron Johnson and become the next U.S. senator from the state of Wisconsin? How do we get my man Malcolm Kenyatta to be the next senator from the state of Pennsylvania? How do we get Cheryl, I believe, Cheryl, she was a former state Supreme Court judge. And I want to say Beasley, but you can Google the name. She is running to be the next U.S. senator, United States senator from the state of North Carolina. My man Charles Booker running against Rand Paul. Send his ass home, get him out of here. Charles Booker to be the next United States senator from the state of Kentucky by voting. And I don't want to hear about what President Biden has not done. Talk about what he has done. And if these quote unquote, they call them Republicans, this whole MAGA crowd, if they were not obsessed, with a hard on for old boy Orange Hitler to get him back in power, if you didn't have politicians like governors intentionally sabotaging the economy by creating all of a sudden, now we got to do tire inspections of all these trucks coming from Mexico. So let's figure out a way to F Joe Biden. Oh, I know what. All the trucks is bringing all kind of produce and other goods and products from Mexico through Texas. You have all these ports of entry. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands of trucks were backed up until you even had some white dudes. It looked like a MAGA dude was like, hey man, this is BS. White dude, the video went viral. I'm calling out BS. These Republicans are intentionally trying to screw us. They are trying to make inflation worse to hurt Joe Biden. It was a white dude that looked just like them, had the Southern Texas accent. The only thing I didn't see was a MAGA tattoo on his forehead somewhere. But he spoke the truth and he called it out. And I've been telling you all. So this and so many reasons why we got to vote. There are people that want to put women in prison. So let me say that again to you so you can really understand it. There are people, politicians, it's already happened. There are people in power that want to put women in prison for having an abortion, which is legal, and it's been legal for, say, 50 years. 1973, Roe versus Wade, Supreme Court decision that said abortions in America are legal. It's a woman's choice. It's her body. And after 50 years, they have been determined, they being a handful primarily of men in power, because the women haven't been in these seats of power, political power, that have been obsessed with controlling women, controlling women's body, obsessed that their population is dwindling. You've heard Sucker Carlson, who's obsessed with, oh, by the way, since we're talking about Sucker Carlson on fake Fox News, who now is got this homoerotic fantasy about, these macho manly men, all buffed and look like they've been in the gym for 3 hours and 6 packs, and all of a sudden, so he's encouraging men to increase your testosterone, tan your testicles. I'm sorry, mother, but no, this is true. He's been on TV showing this naked white dude standing up like, whoa, with this red light, tanning his testicles. All right, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV, but I've talked to doctors and said, no, what you're doing, that light, things like skin cancer, burns. So no, tanning your testicles is not gonna help your testosterone, okay? After a certain point in your life, fellas, like once you hit 40, your testosterone is just gonna kind of naturally, so that ain't the way to do it. If you need to increase your testosterone, I would encourage you to see your doctor. I'm sure your doctor will say, no, don't take some red infrared light and shine it on your male genitalia to increase your testosterone. These fools will say anything. So there are these people in power, political power, that want to put women in prison for having an abortion. Even if she was raped by a stranger, her stepfather, her uncle. These are the same people. These are the same people that want to and have already purged black people off the voting rolls. Black people and brown people, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, Asian American brothers and sisters, Native American brothers and sisters, young people, students, elderly people, people who they feel will not vote for ending democracy and just coming up with a dictatorship. They want Lil Putin or Putin's biatch, Orange Hitler, back in power. Because they want to do like that with this, fake definition of manhood. And let me just say this, since we're on the subject of manhood, okay? A woman cannot strip you of your manhood. A woman can't emasculate you. A TV commercial can't emasculate you. A marketing campaign can't emasculate you. Another dude can't emasculate you unless you allow it. All right? And this weird definition of being a man is not how much you can bench press or, how much definition you have in your abs or how many trees you can chop down or how long you can stand there with the infrared light tanning your testicles. Where did that dumb ish come from? That ain't got nothing to do with being a man. You know what being a man is? Talking about a real man. A real man can, first of all, a real man is about being honest, faithful, and truthful. Period. In all walks of life. A real man can own and admit his mistake. When you make a mistake, own it. Raise your hand. Admit it. You know what? I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize, and I will atone, and I will take action steps to correct my behavior. Being a man is showing humanity, compassion, empathy, decency, protecting those who are less powerful physically or politically, economically, or socially. Being a bully is the complete opposite of being a man. Being a bully is being a bitch and a punk. Bullies are cowards. Because they're not going to bully somebody that they know that will fight them back and punch them in their mouth. They pick on people who are weaker than them because they're weak on the inside. So being a bully is the exact opposite of being a real man. So stop with this. Right. So, women, strong women can't emasculate you. Gay men or trans women can't emasculate you. The only person that can take your manhood from you is you. If you allow it, they can't take it. You can give it away. Nobody can take it. So stop with this foolishness. So I had to say that. But these are the people, are the same people that want to put women in prison. Even if a 14-year-old girl is raped by, like I said, a stranger, her stepfather, an uncle, or a stranger, a stepfather, an uncle, whoever. Same people that want to purge people of color because they don't want to vote for them. These same people want to allow cops to put a gun at the head of an unarmed black man and blow his brains out and not be held accountable, not hold them accountable for cold-blooded murder about a traffic stop. These are the people who want to take complete control in political and economic and social power. That's why you need to vote. These are the same people that are banning books that don't want the truth taught about slavery and racism and Jim Crow. Because these books, if oh my God, if these poor, not my words, their words, our white children are fragile. And if our poor kids, if they hear about slavery and racism and Jim Crow, it's going to teach them to hate themselves. It won't teach them to hate themselves if you don't teach them that what happened in the past does not happen in the future. If their ancestors committed horrors, if their ancestors engaged in lynching and murder, and if their ancestors owned slavery, they don't have to do the same thing. First of all, slavery is illegal and it ain't never coming back. I use this analogy, I use this example all the time. I was in elementary school when I first learned about the Holocaust, what happened to the Jewish people over in Europe. 6 million Jews murdered, slaughtered, gassed, placed in ovens, firing squads. Horrible. I really felt bad about that because I said, how could anybody treat another human like that? How could a human being have so much evil, demonic spirit to murder innocent, not just men, innocent women and children? I felt bad about that. And I said, I went, boy, I sure want to make sure I could do anything that I could to make sure that that never happens again. So to all the young white brothers and sisters, if you felt bad about hearing about Jim Crow, lynching, raping, murder, slavery, just the systematic, really Jim Crow, these are laws. It was to feed a system of what they call white supremacy. There's nothing supreme about it because, you know, this whole white nationalism is based on fear and insecurity. Oh, the white race is going to be replaced. First of all, tell me what is whiteness. The ish was made up, all right? There is no biological marker that will say that you are white. It will say your ancestors are maybe from Ireland or from Italy or from Eastern Europe somewhere, Slavic, maybe somewhere from Asia, the Caucasoid mountain areas, or it could be French or African country because Africa is a continent, Nigerian, Ghanaian, from Cameroon, the Congo, or South America. Race is was made up. I've said it before. It was made up in roughly around the mid to late 1600s, right around 1670 something. In Europe, they made it up in Europe and imported it. So a handful of people, primarily white men, think about the Constitution, America's Constitution. It was a small handful of white, wealthy, male landowners, white Christian men, wealthy white Christian men. They wrote it in the original Constitution. The only people that could vote were white male landowners. Translation, wealthy white Christian men. Primarily, that's the only people that could vote. They felt that's the only people that should have a say in this form of democracy. So it was made up. There are people that are dead set taking us back to the 1600s. If they could, they would. And that's why this whole thing about critical race theory, it teaches white kids to hate themselves. No, it teaches them their history, their true, full history of their country. And hopefully when they learn about the Tulsa race massacre and race massacres in Wilmington and the Red Summer, where you had these race massacres in Chicago and St. Louis, you had race massacres in small towns in Arkansas. I believe, is it Enid? Enid is a town with E. It's a matter of fact, there's so many. I've had a list. You can go back and binge watch some earlier shows. Tulsa, Oklahoma. The Greenwood District, a district all black, built from the ground up. African Americans created their own business district, movie theaters, hotels, all type of businesses. Yes, I said hotels, movie theaters, restaurants, clothing stores, you name it. Everything that you could want to buy, you could buy in the Greenwood District in Tulsa. And why did these black people do it? Because when they tried to shop in the white communities, they wouldn't do business with them. So there's like, all right, blank y'all. We'll build our own community, shop in our own community. Successful, wealthy black people. Few of them were millionaires way back then. We should be like billionaires now. And what are the whites who didn't even have as much as the blacks in this community financially? What did these envious, demonic, spirited, racist white people do? They burned and bombed the neighborhood and murdered hundreds and hundreds of black people. That's what they don't want their white children to learn about. And the white kids, they may feel bad about themselves, but they'll probably feel what it is that you racists that don't want it taught, you don't want your children and grandchildren to feel some kind of way about you and their grandparents and great-grandparents. Instead of owning it, own it. Even if maybe your ancestors didn't participate. Maybe if your ancestors didn't actually own slavery, this concept of whiteness that you claim, this identity that you fall under, you benefit from the system of whiteness. And the system of whiteness was built to oppress black people, Native American people, people of color. Not just here in America, but all over the globe, in the Caribbean, in South America, in Europe, in France, in England, in Germany, and even in countries like Russia and Ukraine. Yeah. You got you got black Russians, not a lot. Black Ukrainians, do your homework. This is why voting is so important, and I'm going to beat this drum every day. And before I get out of here, apparently there was a judge in Florida, pretty incompetent one. I digress, don't have a whole lot of time to talk about that. But a federal judge issued a ruling that the CDC, Center for Disease Control, their order and mandate to require everybody on airplanes, public transportation to wear masks. She claims, that's unconstitutional. So she issued a ruling that said people do not have to wear a mask. And I'm looking at video this morning. I believe it was an Air Alaska flight. And the flight attendant gets on the microphone and says, well, now guess what? A judge ruled, blah, 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 that you can take your mask off. And people start cheering like it was the NBA Finals or the World Series, and their team just won. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you cheering about not having to wear a mask? The only reason you had to wear a mask in the first place was to protect your dumb ass or protect other people from you. So you celebrate now that you can spread this virus? You know, over 1 million people have died since March of 2020, just here in America. Think about that. I'm going to say that again. You've had over 1 million people have died. And those are just the ones that they counted. Because like when COVID really took off and first hit March, April, May of 2020, people were dying so fast. You had people who died at home that they really didn't really get officially counted. So you had all these people that have died from COVID. That's the reason that they asked you to wear a mask, because they realized that this virus was airborne. And it was a new virus, or as doctors call it, a novel virus. They hadn't seen it before. You wore a mask to protect you from other people and protect other people from you. So you celebrating, and now you can spread this virus that's still killing people today. Today, unfortunately, there are people today who have died and will die from COVID. So I don't know about you. I'm going to keep my mask on when I'm in the supermarket or like places like Sam's Club or whatever. On an airplane, I will continue to wear my mask. And I'm just giving you some advice. I would advise you, if you got anything to say about me wearing my mask, you might want to keep it to yourself. Because if you don't, I'll make sure you regret that you didn't keep it to yourself. All right. So if you really want to, I'm not the one to have that conversation with. But if you want to go there, I don't start one, but I will end it. And I'll get it on videotape. And I will expose your ignorance, racism, foolishness, or whatever your issue may be. You don't want to wear a mask, do you? I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to trust you. That's why I'm going to keep my mask on. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Let me take a look here. Hello to my number one fan, my executive producer, and everybody else watching always. Shout out to my mom. Hello, mother. Yes, she's a big fan of State Representative Crystal Matthews. So, Crystal, if you're watching, my mom says hi. She wishes if she was here, she would vote for you. So she wishes she was here, so she could give you that vote. But I'll hold it down. I'll represent the family, the Jones family. I got you. I got you held down. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. You and everybody you know and don't know, everybody you like, you love, you can't stand, you hate, tell them all, strangers, aliens, to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share and like, subscribe, share and like, subscribe, share, like, and binge watch this and every episode. Shout out to Mr. Mark Hill Bailey, the official barber of the Geno Jones Show. He is the official barber hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is a hair artiste. Check him out. Check out his art, his work on Instagram, his cuts. It's KLB Cutting Up on Instagram, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, Bruce Gage, the official stylist and wardrobe consultants for the Geno Jones Show. Allie Jones, fashion designer, fashion design major, Columbia College, Chicago. Check out her collection, check out her fashion, check out her drip on her Instagram page. Lexi with 2 X's, LEXXIE, underscore is a line below. Lexi with 2 X's, line below, underscore. Nicole, underscore once again, behind, at the bottom and behind, Nicole Designs. Lexi with 2 X's, underscore, Nicole, underscore Designs. Bruce Gage on Instagram. Check out his collection. Check out his drip, his clothing line that he carries, his own personal line, Mario Uomo. As a matter of fact, on Instagram, he's Miglio di Mario Uomo. It's an Italian name. It's Miglio di Mario Uomo, MIGILIO DIMARIO UOMO. MIGILIO DIMARIO UOMO. Miglio di Mario Uomo. I want to thank everybody for watching. I love each and every one of you. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Thank you for your feedback in the chat room, Mother, and everybody else. Thank you for watching the next live edition of the Geno Jones Show. It's going to be Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Once again, we've come to the end of the road. So we've come to the end of the road. Unfortunately for Blackish, shout out to Tracy Ellis Ross, Anthony Anderson, Lawrence Fishburne, my sister, Jennifer Lewis, the entire cast, the creator of the show, Kenya Barris, and everybody that's a part of Blackish. Shout out to my man, Dion Cole, repping the Shy, the 312-773-708. Shout out to Dion, man, you're doing your thing, brother. I'm so proud of you. He's been a regular on Blackish, so shout out to Dion Cole, everybody else on the show. Make sure you all check it out. It's going to be history tonight, the final episode of Blackish. And you and me tomorrow, Wednesday, or tomorrow or tonight, this morning, depending on whenever you're watching the show. 6:30 p.m. as always. One more thing before I get out here. Please be blessed. And let's pray for peace here and all over the world. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.